You may be exhausted after this presidential election season, but in Connecticut, voters heading to the polls can have a big impact with their down ballot votes. I'm Kate Chaplinsky, and I'm joined by my HAN Election Night co-host Josh Fisher. When the polls close at 8 o'clock, we'll be bringing you live election results and analysis on HAN.Network and simulcasting on Frontier Communications Vantage Sports Network. That's channels 600 and 1600. Now, Josh, the control of the Connecticut General Assembly hangs in the balance today.
It does, Kate, and you'll be able to follow along of every race as the voting continues with this ticker you see right there on the bottom of your screen, because Kate, there's a lot at stake today. Democrats right now have a 21-15 majority in the state Senate, and the Democrats control the General Assembly's. They've controlled the General Assembly's upper chamber since 1997, back when John Rowland was governor. The Republicans would need to flip 4 seats to get a 19-17 majority, because in case of a tie, Lieutenant Governor Nancy Wyman would be the deciding vote to split that tie. Now, in the House, Democrats have an 87-64 majority. The Republicans would need to flip 12 seats to get a 77-76 majority in the state House. While most pundits around the state expect the Democrats to retain their majority in Connecticut, Republicans have been campaigning on the idea that a vote for local Republicans is a way to rebuke Governor Dan Malloy.
Right, Josh. And our own Wilton Bulletin talked to State Representative Gail Lavielle at one of the polling locations in Wilton about the importance of Connecticut legislative races. Check it out.
The presidential election has dominated the media, which is normal, but I want everybody to be sure to pay attention to the legislative races in Connecticut, because it is quite possible that voting could change the majority in the House or the Senate. We're quite close, and we have, I know I can only speak for the House, but we're 12 seats from a majority, and there are fantastic candidates running all over the state. And if we bring some more balance to the legislature, things can change substantially. So I hope that people will pay attention to the Connecticut.
And Kate, I know you've been following closely what Trumbull First Selectman Tim Herbst has been doing to support other General Assembly races outside of Trumbull.
That's right, Josh. We have been keeping a close eye on this. He's been supporting a lot of Republicans running for the General Assembly. He's been mentioned as a potential 2018 gubernatorial candidate, and he's created a political action committee to help Republican legislative candidates in this election, particularly in Naugatuck Valley and the Northwest Corner, where Republicans have been more successful.
So along with those General Assembly races that we'll be covering tonight, we're also going to be watching all 5 congressional races in the state which are contested this year. We're going to focus, of course, on the 4th District down here in southwestern Connecticut, but it's the 5th District which could be the best chance for the GOP to pick up its first congressional win in the state since 2006. Wow. And then in the U.S. Senate, where Richard Blumenthal, who is running a well-financed campaign, is seeking a second term in the U.S. Senate, he's facing underfunded state rep Dan Carter of Bethel. A Blumenthal win, coupled with a Democratic takeover of the U.S. Senate, they need to win 3 to 4 seats nationwide today. That could really boost Blumenthal's standing in the Senate and give him a lot more influence in Washington.
Wow. And we'll also be covering the race for the 45th Probate District, which serves Ridgefield, Reading, Newtown, and Bethel. It's the only contested probate race in the state this year, and it pits Democrat Sharon Wicks Dornfeld of Ridgefield versus Republican Daniel O'Grady of Bethel. And New Canaan has a chance to vote on referendum questions that would change its town charter. One of them could reduce the power of its first selectman.
And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date on the national presidential race and let you know how your town voted for president today.
And finally, if you aren't sure where to vote today or need to find out more about Election Day registration, you can visit myvote.ct.gov.
So watch us live at 8 p.m. tonight on HAN.Network, Frontier channels 600 and 1600, and anywhere by downloading the HAN.Network app for your iPhone or Android.
We'll see you soon.